everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal, Spaz, Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, and to be real, this is probably going to be the quickest preview pod I ever do. We're here tonight to talk about Impact's Under Siege pay-per-view that is happening this coming Saturday. This is going out Friday, so yeah, it's happening tomorrow. Although I'm not going to have much to say about this show tonight, I am sort of, in a lot of ways, looking more forward to this than I am to WrestleMania Backlash, which, if you are following along, this should drop around 10 o'clock Friday morning, and the Backlash preview will drop at about 12. So whenever you got that in your feed, the WrestleMania Backlash feed should come along about 2 hours later. Backlash, we definitely know what purpose that pay-per-view serves. It's to get us not only tie up all the loose ends from WrestleMania, but also just it's a B pay-per-view to get out of the way as we get towards some of the stadium shows. I talk about that in greater detail in the WrestleMania Backlash preview, so I'm not going to do that here. But this, I hate to say it, because I am looking forward to this, and it does have some fun stuff on it. It basically serves the same purpose. I mean, Rebellion was only 2 weeks ago, so how much could they really do? I mean, they could just say, hey, we're having this, we're having this, we're having this, do it a little bit like they advertise an episode of Dynamite. Which isn't always bad, don't get me wrong. Just give me some matches for matches' sake. Hey, this match looks awesome. Hey, here you go, have it in your face. But it's dragging out a bunch of stuff that not necessarily needs to be dragged out. Sort of similar to Backlash, as I say. But let's get into the card. As I say, I want to reiterate one more time. This pay-per-view will be good. The matches will be good. I think there's a lot of fun to be had here. They just don't leave me with much to talk about. And the prime example of that is the kickoff match, which is Giselle Shaw taking on one half of the Women's Knockouts Tag Team Championships, Madison Rayne. And what can you say about this other than this match is happening because Giselle Shaw interrupted Tennille Dashwood's All About Me show? That's a thing that happened. Giselle Shaw and Lady Frost are sort of a half-assed thrown together tag team that had a shot at the tag team titles not too long ago, so I don't know why we just didn't run that back and actually have a title match for a title holder. But you've got a singles match with one of your tag team champions, and it's happening on the pre-show, which not only puts one of your champions on the pre-show not defending their title, but it means that the tag team titles are not being defended tonight at all, which is a bit shit. I don't have a whole lot to say about Giselle Shaw, in all honesty, other than, she commands the spotlight. I mean, how many other people do that right now? The Men of the Year do that on Dynamite. Edge and Seth Rollins both do that in WWE. It's not a unique gimmick. At least Lady Frost has the whole, female Sub-Zero thing going on, and if you follow her on social media, she ain't hard to look at either. Madison Rayne's gonna get the win because she's the champion, and it's on the kickoff, which makes it, I never want to say that it doesn't matter, because Madison Rayne's great, and Giselle Shaw I've only seen in the ring a couple of times, but I don't want to put her down just for the sake of putting her down. Tennille Dashwood will be out there as well, just underlining the fact that not only is she not active on the card at all, she's not in a tag team match, even though she's a tag team champion. So everybody involved in this is good. It's just thrown together in such a haphazard way, I really don't know what to say, which is why I'm stumbling over my words, and it kind of bugs me a little, I'm not gonna lie. We don't have an X Division Championship match on this card either, which is another bummer. I mean, Ace Austin just won that title, and he's not even on the card from what I can see. Also, I should say, as I always have to say for the Impact shows, I always have to say this when we do a WWE show, because I have to always say, I haven't seen SmackDown yet. If anything changes on SmackDown, da-da-da-da. I'm literally recording this while Impact is on, because I usually end up catching Impact the next day. So if anything has changed on tonight's show, then you'll have to excuse me. You'll have to excuse my not knowing that in advance. I don't have a time machine, etc. Motor City Machine Guns have singles matches as well. We just put the Motor City Machine Guns back together as a tag team, and much like the Women's Tag Team Champions, they're having separate matches, which isn't great. But Alex Shelley versus Mike Bailey happened at Multiverse of Matches, and yeah, they were a team. The three of them were a team for a hot second, and now they're not. And Alex Shelley and Mike Bailey are having a rematch. It'll be awesome. Alex Shelley is awesome. I have a bias towards Speedball Mike Bailey because I have seen him a couple of times at Destiny Wrestling. Yes, check it off your Spaz Phoenix bucket list. Yes, at Destiny Wrestling, check it off your Spaz Phoenix bucket list. Again, I did see Scott D'Amore physically present him with his Impact contract, which is a really, really cool thing to say. So my biases aside, the match is probably going to be pretty damn good. Because they're pushing Alex Shelley in a tag team capacity, I think giving the singles win to Mike Bailey is good. We've gotten Mike Bailey away from Ace Austin and the whole, like, they were pretending to be friends thing, which is fine. And onward and upward we go. Now, what is Alex Shelley's partner doing? Chris Sabin is taking on Steve Macklin, which the Steve Macklin conversation gets more and more frustrating because I like what he's doing. I like that he just, like, he's apologyless in how blatantly he's just going out there and being the Punisher. He's just going out there and being Frank Castle, and that's just what it is. It's cool, but it doesn't make me care about him as a wrestler, so that's something to grapple with, and it doesn't make me really look forward to his matches. The guy's a hell of a brawler. He's a hell of an in-ring performer, don't get me wrong. I don't mean to begrudge him that, but, like, they're so disconnected. This whole, like, mock-up Punisher thing that he's doing is so detached from everything that he's doing in the ring that I don't really know what to do with it in my head. And Chris Sabin is the other half of the Motor City Machine Guns, who are a tag team, who should be having a tag team match, but they're not. I mean, I know Mike Bailey is a face and Steve Macklin is just an asshole that wants to kill everybody, but for one night, make them an oddball team and have them take on the Motor City Machine Guns. That could be a thing. That could be a thing that we did here. That is definitely a thing we did not do here. Steve Macklin gets the win because, like I say, they need to make me care about him as a wrestler, and Chris Sabin can afford the loss. He's also a great technician. He does slip into that Ziggler role occasionally of, I would love to see him get a win, but he's also going to be really good at making the other guy look good. So yeah, even though I just said how much I like the Motor City Machine Guns, I've just booked them both to lose in back-to-back matches. Aren't I crazy? It's really tired in here. That's the other reason this video is going to be relatively short, or this podcast. Are they going to do the cool thing? Are they going to put the Women's Championship on somebody from Decay? They didn't do it with Rosemary at Rebellion, which they should have. Tasha Steelz. Discount Sasha Banks is still that champion. She's taking on Havoc this time around. I like Havoc and I like Rosemary, but if they were going to put this belt on somebody, it would have been Rosemary. I hate to say that. And also, once again, it comes around to I like Decay. I love Decay. I love the faction. I love the characters in the faction. I love fucking Giant El Torito. It's fucking good. Crazy Steve is awesome. Rosemary is good. I won't pretend. I'm not necessarily as invested in Havoc as a singles wrestler, but again, her and Rosemary together make a cool team, and you could still have them be a tag team if you would put the belt on Rosemary, but just, don't put the belt on discount Sasha Banks. It's fine. I really would love to say that Havoc gets this, but I'm also realistic and know that that's not going to happen. Bullet Club are taking on Honor No More. Now, here's the deal. I said this in my Dynamite review. I've joked about it on the Backlash preview, and I'll say it here as well. Bullet Club, me, a guy who never really watched ROH and doesn't really watch New Japan. I mean, yes, ROH is now coming in more into my sphere because of AEW. New Japan is doing the crossover show with AEW, so they're bringing that into my sphere as well. I never saw the Bullet Club at its quote-unquote hype. I never saw the Bullet Club when Finn Balor was running it. I never saw the Bullet Club when AJ Styles was running it. I never saw the Bullet Club, I'm seeing the Bullet Club right now while Jay White runs it, but the extensions and the different iterations of it that exist over all the companies now, the Bucks, the Good Brothers, the Kenny Omega, Adam Cole, Finn Balor, AJ Styles. I mean, as much as it's not my thing and it's not the group that I grew up on, and keep in mind, I liked the NWO but I caught the NWO because I just started watching WCW right before it died. So I never saw it from its inception. I saw the Undisputed Era from its inception. I do not have the connection to the Bullet Club that a lot of you have out there. But I cannot avoid the fact that literally the Bullet Club, or the various iterations of the Bullet Club, or the various iterations of people that have been brought in, kicked out of the Bullet Club. Apparently Juice Robinson is in the Bullet Club now. I just saw that on Twitter. Is that a thing? They brought in Chris Bay from Impact, which is cool. They kicked out the Guerrillas of Destiny about 5 seconds after I realized who the Guerrillas of Destiny were. I acknowledge, to use the Bloodline terminology, that the Bullet Club is pretty much everywhere. And I like the Bullet Club, the bits that I see. Some of the more obnoxious ones in AEW I could do without, but it's fine. The bigger problem for me is Honor No More. Because Honor No More was a thing that they did in Impact, which I thought was really cool, because Ring of Honor was on this weird sort of hiatus thing that they were on, and Impact sort of used it as a growing ground, or a temporary bookmark ground, to keep talking about that company, to keep talking about that brand. They had, at the same time as Honor No More came in, you also had Deonna Purrazzo holding the Ring of Honor Women's Championship, which is very, very sad. We don't need to talk about what happened on Dynamite, but she won it off of Roxy, who's now Roxanne Perez in NXT and hanging out on the beach with Toxic Attraction. We don't need to talk about it. But we had the ROH Women's Championship there. We had the ROH Men's Championship on there with Jonathan Gresham, which introduced me to Jonathan Gresham, who I think is pretty awesome, and I'm pretty sure is now hashtag trademark All Elite. Honor No More existed because they wanted to keep ROH in the conversation, but now Tony Khan's bought ROH. ROH is happening over here, and these guys are just a bunch of guys that used to be in ROH, as far as I can tell. Now, the weird part of all that is you got the one defector in Eddie Edwards. Eddie Edwards, who I'm familiar with through Impact. So you've got one guy that I'm interested on this. I know Mike Bennett was in WWE, but like, what the hell did Mike Kanellis ever do other than pin his pregnant wife for the 24/7 championship? And yeah, Kenny King, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, Vincent, okay, cool, whatever. PCO, the French Frankenstein, I got introduced to by Destiny. He's not even in the match, but even that is wearing thin, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm literally, this is Bullet Club versus Eddie Edwards, for me. And although the Bullet Club are the cool guys, who's the babyface in that scenario? It should be Eddie Edwards. We shouldn't have Honor No More anymore. We should have Eddie Edwards leading an Impact team against the invading Bullet Club, a la NWO. And don't blame me for saying a la NWO, because Bullet Club is the son of the NWO. Let's just be real for a second. I'm also going to a Destiny show relatively soon where the guest host is going to be Kevin Nash. So it all comes full circle. The other side of the equation is it's a 5-on-5, not a 4-on-4, and El Phantasmo has quote-unquote rejoined Bullet Club. I don't have any idea who El Phantasmo is. This is where, if you're listening to this on YouTube, I'm going to say put it down in the comment section below. If you're doing it on Rumble, or if you're listening to me on an audio platform like Spotify or iTunes or whatever the case may be, find me on Twitter at Spaz Phoenix and educate me. Who the hell is El Phantasmo, and should I care? Now, you got one team where I care about 4 out of the 5 guys, one team where I care about 1 out of the 5 guys. Who do you think I'm pulling for in this match? Go back to the Bullet Club once again. It's really, really interesting to me that I'm the most familiar with Gallows and Anderson, but I much prefer the tag team of Chris Bay and Jay White. That's just me being strange. I'm pulling for the Bullet Club in this. It's fine. Taya Valkyrie, the new reigning, defending AAA Reina de Reinas Championship, is giving a rematch to, or has granted a rematch to, Deonna Purrazzo, who went from being the champ to being the nothing. Now, as I said in my Dynamite review, awesome to see, I mean, all my snark aside for a second, awesome to see somebody as underappreciated as Deonna Purrazzo on a huge stage like Dynamite, main eventing against who the fuck did she face? That's terrible. Mercedes Martinez, who's now the current undisputed ROH Women's Champion, fine, cool, whatever. Deonna Purrazzo has nothing. Deonna Purrazzo got given 2 other companies' belts because we had to sacrifice her belt to Mickie James so that Mickie James could wear it in the Royal Rumble, and then she could hand it off to discount Sasha Banks. Oh, yes. In no way, shape, or form do I believe that Deonna Purrazzo is getting her AAA Reina de Reinas championship back, because in all reality, if the wrestling gods, including JBL, are on our side, she'll be going to smack the face off of discount Sasha Banks and getting the Impact Knockouts Women's Championship back. But Taya Valkyrie is going to get the win here. Deonna Purrazzo is going to make her look like $1 million. I'm going to cry a little bit inside from my head down to my tippy toes, and we are going to move on to the Impact World Tag Team Championships, which is Violent by Design, who won a very underwhelming gauntlet match at Rebellion. I will say, Rebellion, I said it before and I'll say it again, Rebellion was a really fun show, but the gauntlet match was really disappointing. It was kind of cool that one of the surprise teams was W. Morrissey and Jordan Grace. I thought that was kind of cool. You knew they weren't going to win, so to have it near the beginning was fine and wonderful. W. Morrissey also showing up on Dynamite this week and having a bit of a slapper with Wardlow was also pretty cool. But they came in at the end and basically took advantage of all the other tired teams in that gauntlet and kept their belts. The Briscoes are the new hot thing in Impact right now. I'm pretty damn sure that the Briscoes are picking up those titles on Saturday to solidify their introduction or their reintroduction. Have they been in Impact before? Tell me down in the box below. Tell me at Spaz Phoenix. But they're back now. Either their arrival or their re-arrival will be solidified by them picking up those tag team belts on Saturday. Now, you want to talk about predictable but still awesome. Josh Alexander, our hometown boy, the Destiny World Champion, hashtag and new Impact World Champion. Josh Alexander, the walking weapon, who walked down to the ring with his kid in a matching singlet just like he did at Destiny. Check it off your Spaz Phoenix bucket list one more time. Awesome moment at Rebellion. Seeing him get his against Moose, who put in a shift in that match as well, let's be real, was great. Moose got his rematch last week on Impact, and they basically said, well, Moose is going to have a rematch, and in the back of all of our minds, we're like, yep, just to get that out of the way. And then, what's his name, Scott D'Amore said, I'm going to have a surprise opponent for the winner of this match at Under Siege, and it's Tomohiro Ishii. So, we're going to solidify Josh Alexander as champion, which is awesome. I don't think they're going to put it on Ishii. I think it's cool that this is somebody I've heard so much about, and over the course of Impact and AEW, I've seen a lot of them, and, you know, the whole Stone Pitbull nickname does work, because he does kind of fight like a wrecking ball. It's fine. It's going to be a hell of a scalp for Josh Alexander. These guys are going to smack bricks off of each other, but Josh Alexander is winning. They just minted him as champion at the end of a really long, really cool arc. He sort of redefined what it means to be an X Division champion. He successfully, technically, cashed in Option C, only to get cashed in on, and then chase the belt that he won through a cash-in to get it the proper way. He basically won the belt 3 times to be champion. He got the belt off of Christian, which got it out of the hands of AEW, which was a nice little tie-up. That was really cool. He immediately had that moment taken away from him. They brought in his family. Moose speared Jade at the Destiny show. Check it off your Spaz Phoenix bucket list. It's fine. He came back ranting and roaring for a rematch. Didn't get it. Instead got sent home. Then came back, got all of his other stuff sorted, won the title, had his rematch immediately, and is now on to a challenge like Tomohiro Ishii. This is, like I say, like, I can use all the, it's going to be a slapper, it's going to be a banger, they're going to slap bricks off of each other, I can use all the cliches I want to, it's just going to be good. Josh Alexander's going to win. Tomohiro Ishii, the next time we see him, unless you're a New Japan fan, is probably going to be at the Forbidden Door show, and that's not too far off either. We got this, we got Backlash, we got Double or Nothing, we've got the Forbidden Door and then we've got Hell in the Cell, and then Money in the Bank. It is a loaded time, and I got The Clash, which I'm going to, which is the Destiny show where Kevin Nash is going to be the guest host. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan, and look at that. Look out your window. It's almost like we're allowed to go out there and live our lives again. Imagine that. I didn't think I was going to have much to say about this show when I first sat down, because I am incredibly tired. Work is kicking the shit out of me this week. I'm looking forward to Doctor Strange this weekend. I'm looking forward to this show this weekend. I am morbidly looking forward to WWE Backlash as well. So if I sound a little bit more snarky, a little bit more sarcastic, a little bit more short-fused than usual, I hope you will excuse me. I hope you will excuse the incredibly short pod. But yeah, tell me what you think of Under Siege. Give me any wild, surprise, crazy prediction, whatever you want down in the box below, or if I can plug it one more time, at Spaz Phoenix on Twitter. But until then, until I talk to you guys again, I've been Spaz, your YWC Reality Check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I will talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, tag it out, guys. Have a good weekend.